All right, let's talk about artificial intelligence. We hear about it everywhere, right? It's this incredible technology that's changing our world, promising to make everything faster, smarter, and more efficient. But here's the thing about powerful tools. They can be used for good or for ill. And today, we're looking at how AI is becoming a brand new and seriously powerful weapon in the very old game of corruption. This quote from Transparency International really just hits the nail on the head. AI is a classic double-edged sword. On one side, it can shine a light into the darkest corners of government and finance. But on the other, it can create even deeper, more complicated shadows for corrupt people to hide in. And that's the paradox we're going to unpack. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll really dig into that double-edged sword idea. Then we'll explore the dark side, how AI is a new toolkit for corruption. After that, we'll flip the script and see how it can be corruption's worst enemy. Then we'll get into the really crucial part. How do we govern these things? And finally, we'll look at what's next. Okay, so on the one hand, AI can be amazing for governments. Think about it. It can chew through massive amounts of data, streamline public services, reduce human mistakes, and even cut down on opportunities for bribery just by automating things. But here's the catch. This tech is moving at lightning speed, way faster than lawmakers can keep up. And that gap, that's where new vulnerabilities, new doors for misuse are swinging wide open. Now, just to be super clear on what we're talking about here, when we say corrupt use of AI, we mean intentional abuse. This isn't about a system having an accidental glitch or an unintended bias that leads to a bad outcome. No, this explainer is about people in power knowingly twisting AI systems for their own personal gain. So let's look at that first edge of the sword, how AI can be actively weaponized. Because it's not just some passive risk. It's a whole new toolkit for anyone who wants to game the system. One of the biggest problems with AI is what people call the black box issue. The way these systems make decisions is often so complex that even the programmers who built them can't fully explain the why behind a specific result. This creates this really powerful illusion of neutrality. I mean, if a machine made the decision, it has to be objective, right? And that makes it the absolute perfect cover for hiding corrupt intentions. So how exactly would someone do it? Well, the sources show it really boils down to 3 key points of attack. First, you can mess with the data. You feed the AI biased or incomplete information to get the outcome you want. Second, you can tweak the algorithm itself. A programmer on the inside could build in a backdoor that systematically favors, say, certain companies or certain people. And third, even if the data in the algorithm are perfect, a corrupt official can just manipulate the results by deciding how to interpret the AI's output. This whole thing is what experts are calling algorithmic capture. As you can see here, from the moment you set the goal all the way to interpreting the result, there are all these different places where someone can bend the system for their own benefit. A corrupt official could rig a bidding system to make sure their friends always get the government contracts. Or they could tweak a fraud detection system to make sure it conveniently overlooks their fraud. And hey, this isn't just theory. The corrupt use of AI is already out there in the wild. Take disinformation. A huge 83% of EU citizens think fake news is a threat to democracy, and AI is just pouring gasoline on that fire. Or look at surveillance. We've got 75 countries using AI to watch their citizens, sometimes to clamp down on political opposition. And in the world of finance, AI is being used to create fake identities and phony documents to get around the rules. AI can also be tricked in these really sneaky ways through something called an adversarial attack. Look at this. Someone can add a layer of digital static to an image, changes that are totally invisible to you and me, and completely fool a medical AI into seeing cancer where there is none. Just imagine a corrupt doctor using that to commit massive insurance fraud. And that same idea applies everywhere. Someone could sell secrets on how to fool a company's hiring AI, giving their clients an unfair leg up. Okay, that's the dark side. But that is only one side of the story. Let's not forget the other edge of that sword, because the very same technology can be an unbelievably powerful force for good, for transparency and accountability. What makes AI a potential hero in this story is its incredible processing power. It can sift through mountains of data. We're talking financial records, government contracts, spending reports, and spot patterns of corruption that a human investigator, even a whole team of them, would almost certainly miss.
For auditors and anti-corruption agencies, this is a total game changer. So let's look at some real-world examples. If you're worried about companies secretly working together to rig bids on public projects, an AI can scan data from all over to flag bids that look way too similar. For money laundering, an AI can spot weird transactions that are buried inside super complex schemes. It can even draw a map of the relationships between officials and companies to expose those hidden conflicts of interest. And this is not science fiction, people. It's already paying off. In one case, the U.S. Department of Justice used an AI to comb through financial records. The system flagged some anomalies that helped them convict a former government minister from Bolivia. He'd taken bribes to steer a $5.6 million government contract to a U.S. company. Without AI, those connections might have stayed hidden forever. AI can also be a shield for one of the bravest groups of people out there, whistleblowers. I mean, coming forward to report corruption is incredibly risky. But AI can help. It can automatically anonymize reports, stripping out names and locations while keeping the crucial facts. Secure chatbots can even walk a whistleblower through the reporting process safely, protecting their identity every step of the way. So, we have this powerful, complicated, double-edged technology. How in the world do we make sure it's used for good? Well, that brings us to governance. Because at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. And its impact, whether it's for good or bad, depends completely on the rules we build around it. And governments have a massive role to play here. Experts are clear. They need national AI strategies that are actually focused on preventing corruption. They need to create public registries so we can see what AI systems are being used and where. They have to update election laws to fight AI-powered lies. And, this is so important, they need to give citizens a legal way to challenge a decision made about them by an algorithm. But it's not just on governments. The tech companies building these systems have to step up too. They need to check who they're selling to so they don't accidentally become an accessory to corruption. They need to watch how their tools are being used and report it when they suspect something shady is going on. And they need to work with outside auditors to make sure their tech isn't being turned into a weapon.
So, are we doing all this? Well, this heat map tells a kind of worrying story. The darkest red shows what governments are prioritizing with their money. You can see it's all about industrial strategy, research, and talent. And ethics and governance? They're often way down the list, in the lighter colors. There's a big, big gap between what we're focused on and what we need to be focused on.
So, where does that leave us? We've seen both sides of the AI coin. We've seen its terrifying potential to make corruption worse, and its amazing power to help us fight back. So, is its path already set in stone? Is AI fated to be a force for good or a force for bad? The experts seem to agree, no. The outcome is not inevitable. Not at all. This quote really gets right to the core of it. The key isn't just about having the flashy new tech. It's about changing our old ways of doing things to use it responsibly. You can't just slap a sophisticated AI onto a broken, outdated system and hope for the best. We have to be willing to fundamentally rethink how we work to really make these tools work for us. Because in the end, the future of AI isn't up to the algorithm. The machine doesn't get a vote. Whether this technology helps create a more transparent world or a more oppressive one, that depends entirely on the choices we make. The choices we make as citizens, as leaders, as developers. The future isn't written in code, it's in our hands. Thanks for watching.